You had to go there, didn't you, Steve?
Well, if I can't pick on you in person, I might as well pick on you virtually.
Yeah, you better get it all in while you still got time.
I think we're ready to go.
Okay, we're on the record, or we're going on the record. Okay, these proceedings of the hearing examiner for the city of Oak Harbor are now in session. My name is Michael Bobank, and I am the city hearing examiner. For the record, this is March 23rd, 2020. The time is 11 a.m., and we are conducting the hearing from the council chambers of the Oak Harbor City Hall, Oak Harbor, Washington. The matter on the agenda for hearing this morning is a preliminary plat and planned residential development, a proposal to create up to 192 single-family lots on a 20-plus acre parcel containing 5 separate tax parcels and addressed as 31141 State Route 20, Oak Harbor, Washington. The hearing examiner filed this matter currently consists of the staff report and the 5 attachments and the materials submitted by the applicant. I don't have a list of those, although I have reviewed them, and they were submitted to me electronically, and all of these exhibits will be admitted into the record. And if there are any additional exhibits, they can be brought to my attention during the hearing, and we'll mark and admit them into the record. A testimony at the hearing today will be under oath, so I will be administering oath to anybody who testifies. We'll start off with staff comments. Would you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give be the truth to best of your knowledge?
I do.
I do.
And state your name for the record, please.
My name is Ray Lindenberg. I'm the associate planner for the city of Oak Harbor.
Okay, and what do you have for me on this matter?
I have a couple of comments that we received, and I don't believe were in your packet. They were regarding the SEPA MDNS, the Mitigated Determination of Non-Significance, and I will include that as part of the record because it was comments on the project, although the SEPA MDNS process is not up for approval by you. It was some comments regarding views and whether or not the wording should be changed on that. And I believe that the writer of this particular letter kind of misinterpreted how I placed should versus will. And then there was a comment from the Department of Ecology regarding some petroleum contaminated soil that was discovered on the property and how that needs to be mitigated and remediated. And then the other comment I had with regard to the staff report itself, we don't have any changes to make to the staff report. We stand by everything that was said in there. However, I did want to clarify in a number of places in the staff report, it says up to 192 homes. And the reason for that particular language is because the applicant has provided us, since the time of the application materials that we reviewed, a revised plan that has fewer homes. And we have determined that that is within the realm of not being a significant change from the standpoint of if it goes up to 192 homes, that's what we wanted to make sure that the public understood. And that as long as it meets the density requirements, the R1 and R4 zoning, that would be okay by our standards as far as the zone district is concerned. So as long as the project is substantively the same, we feel comfortable with an approval of up to 192 homes, and that's why that wording was used.
Okay, very good. And Are those comments actually, they sound like something that was in the record that I received.
They were dated March 13th and March 12th. They might be in there.
I have public comments in one of the attachments, and I've read comments that appeared to be consistent with what you did, but
Okay.
if you would submit those, we will make sure they're in the record. If they're not already part of an attachment, we'll number them and include them in the record.
Certainly.
And I guess copies to me so I can make sure I've seen them before.
Sure.
So email me copies, probably the best way to do that.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, and who's representing the applicant?
That would be
Where
Mark
are
Villawak.
our friends?
Yeah.
Mark Villawak is here from LDC. I'm the civil engineer on the project.
And you're representing the.
That is correct.
And have you reviewed the staff report?
I have.
Did you find any factual inaccuracies in the staff report?
I did not. There was a couple items that I did correspond with staff regarding the conditions of approval after the staff report was issued, and they were conditions. Just give me a second here. They were conditions number 21 and 16. Condition number 16 stated what size of drawing sheets were to be required. And I've since talked with the public works director, and they're fine other sheet sizes as appropriate on condition number 16. And so the language in parentheses that states sheet size 22 inches by 34 inches is my understanding should be struck from being part of the condition. And the second one is condition number 21. The intent behind that condition is that there are ADA ramps and crossings at appropriate locations in the neighborhood. And so that's the true intent behind condition number 21, not that the rolled curb be ADA compliant, just that ADA crossings are provided at intersections and other appropriate locations.
Okay, and was there written communication regarding that between staff and the applicant?
We do have emails regarding that between Mr. Villawak and Mr. Bridges, yes.
And has staff decided to change the language of any of the recommended conditions?
You will need to speak to Mr. Bridges on that, but I believe that was agreed to, yes.
And do you have the new language?
We do not have new language right now. If Mr. Bridges would like to pitch in and let me know if there's something specific that we can do as far as language on that.
Yeah, I did. This is Mr. Bridges. I didn't address language changes at this time. Mr. Villawak captured the intent of my response pretty succinctly. I think if we can make that language change as he proposed, that all intersections and potential mid-block crossings would have ADA ramps. That should be sufficient.
And what about condition 16? Do you need to change that at all?
No. Again, I would just say that that Mr. Villawak again that we either just strike that condition completely, or we revise it to say that appropriate size drawings will be submitted. Mr. Villawak has mentioned that they do things on 24 by 36, which is the standard drawing size. That's fine. If we want to change that condition to 24 by 36.
Fine with the city?
Yeah, what we can do. Here would be
Why
my.
don't we just take the parentheses part out of it?
Just take that out, strike that. And then for 21, we can say that intersection or ADA crossings be provided at appropriate locations at intersection and mid-block crossings.
Okay, so here's what I propose. Staff would just do an amended staff report, make those 2 changes, and then we will admit that into the record as a staff report, as opposed to the one that we already have. Mr. Vilwalk?
Yes.
And is there anything else that you want to put in the record at this time?
I just would like to make a couple comments in response to the information, the public comments that were provided. The first is there's a few public comments about views, and I just wanted to bring it to the hearing examiner's attention that there is a view easement on the subject property, and that can be found inside the title report, and it's also shown on the drawings. And so just wanted to make sure that you knew that that was addressed through a private agreement in between the neighboring property owners and the subject property. And then secondly, there's comments about traffic. There is a planned washed out of improvement at the intersection of Erie and SR20 to install a roundabout. That project is in the works of getting funding, and we did work with WashDOT through the process, since that is along the project frontage to reserve adequate space for that roundabout to be constructed in the future. And then finally, DOE's letter regarding the petroleum products. One of the exhibits that we provided to you that was emailed to you by the city was a document confirming that we had addressed the petroleum issue on the site. So you'll see that in the supplemental information that was entered into the record.
I reviewed that. I want to thank you for sending those things, because the things that you sent me basically answered all the questions that I'd come up with reading the public comments and going through what staff provided. So I'm aware that there are no petroleum issues, and it also showed me that you've taken care of all the concerns regarding archaeological sites on the property. So those additional documents really did help. Anything else you want to put in the record?
Not at this time, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
And are you satisfied with all the rest of the conditions of approval, or with the new set that we've agreed to?
We've reviewed them and agree with them.
Okay. And I would note for the record, there are no members of the public in the room, so there'll be no public testimony. Is there anything else from the applicants at this time?
No, not at this time.
Anything else from staff?
No, we have nothing to add.
Well, and there's no one to testify. We'll declare the record closed. And again, I have reviewed everything in the file carefully, and I see no problems with what staff and the applicant have agreed to in regards to conditions, and I see no reason I should not adopt the staff report and their conditions of approval. And you'll get a decision doing that within 10 working days. So we'll be off the record at this time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Appreciate your time.